Hi, Shane the Mechanic back again. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to put a voltage meter on the motorbike. So we have an idea of if the charging system's working right and if the battery's going flat. So let's take a little bit of a look at what we need to do. Okay, so I've bought a small volt reader from eBay and we're going to fit it just down into there. So take the 8 screws out of your dash cover, remove it, and get a hole saw, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we've got the dash cover off, got our little voltmeter, and I reckon, looking at it this way, this should fit just about here. So take a look at the back, and just be aware that this is where it's going to have to screw back in. So we want it to be like pretty accurately fit right there. Alright, so we'll do that and come back. Okay. Alright, so have you got me? Okay, so we've got our hole. Don't rush it. You've only got one piece of plastic, and unless you want to buy another one, I think they're about, I don't know, $100 each. So just take your time, use a nice sharp hole saw, and yeah. Alright, so let's see how we go. A little voltmeter. Yay, it fits. Alright, so I would suggest that you put some super glue or Loctite or something on there. Oops. On there, so it doesn't vibrate loose. Let's see if it's going to look sexy or not. Yeah, I reckon. Alright, so that bit's done. Next thing we need to do is find some power. Okay, we're back. With your trusty multimeter, you're going to need to find a power supply for this voltmeter. So find an earth, as I've previously done, get some power, and my suggestion is, because the headlight is on all the time, you might as well use that. The voltage drop to the headlight wire was too much, so I had to use the blue connector, which you can see on the screen. The orange wire is battery voltage with the ignition on, so go ahead and use that. As for the rest of the instructions, it should be okay to follow, except using the white wire for the headlight. You can still use the earth on the headlight loom. Okay, we're back again. We've got the headlight loom. So the yellow is our high beam, the white is the Parker and low beam, and the black white, that's our earth. You can tell it's the earth because it's going to both the high and the low. You can see just in here. One there, another one just up here. Okay, so to get these two wires to do our voltage reading, we need to tap into these wires. Now, a simple way to do that, obviously the ignition is off, so these aren't live at the moment. So we just come in behind it without actually cutting through the wire. We just want to open it up, just like as if you were stripping the wire. Man, these are crap. Okay, so there we go. We've opened the wire up just enough. We don't need a lot. So you can see that. There's that little open section. Now, remember, white was our low beam and park. Now, with it, something sharp, and I've just got my multimeter. This is the way I do it. Other people do it differently, obviously. So just pin through that wire. You make a little hole. We're not cutting it. We're not breaking anything. Just making a little hole. I'm just going to get that through the middle properly. Okay, so there we go. We've got a little hole. You can see that. Okay, so that's going to be our positive. Now, with another piece of wire, which we're going to end up running to that little volt gauge. Yeah. I prefer to have plenty of wire on the end. And red for positive, if you can get it. Just feed that through that little hole there. Okay. And just twist it around. This way it makes a really good contact. And even if we didn't have solder, this would be good enough to make it work. So, like I said, red positive. And if you don't know how to solder, that's not a problem. You can use Scotch locks, you can use bullet connectors, you can do whatever you want. You right, chap? Okay, so we don't need much on there. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so make sure you tape that up. Repeat that process onto the black wire, and then we can put some connectors on and put everything back together. Okay, back yet again. Our headlight loom, so I only got blue tape at the moment, but I can fix that anytime. You can see we got the two wires, red and a black. Make sure anytime you have a new live, this red one, always put an insulated female connector on it. That not only tells everybody else that that's a power, but it also stops it from shorting out or touching something and blowing fuses and putting you off the road. Alright, so we'll plug all that back in and hopefully it'll work. Okay, everything's fitted. It's down there as you can see. We'll sort of put the screws back in the dash. I didn't mention that don't forget to leave enough wire, so if you do need to take the dash out at some point you can disconnect it. Alright, let's see if it works. Alright, 10.4 volts. Let's just hold the clutch in, Jack. And let's You've been watching Shane the Mechanic. Hope you've enjoyed. See you next time.